John Osborne here with the FX Education Outlook for August 30th, 2017. Just one more day to go for August, and then we start September, and we also have non-farm payroll on Friday, and this little bit of a slow volume or low volume week. So be careful as the week comes to a close. We'll probably see a little bit less and less volume, especially after the non-farm payroll event on Friday. Let's go ahead and look at some of the markets that we've been watching. We'll start out with our bullish candidates, and we begin with the Aussie Swissy. The Aussie Swissy, it's the second time we've seen a potential breakout of this pennant pattern that we have here, and we're just about at the crux of the pennant here. You can see we already had a long wick come out of here and then a push back again, giving us a hammer type pattern. But the hammer that was very bullish is one that will close with the close higher than the open, and this was the opposite. We have a red candle here, so it's not really impacting. It's not as strong as it would be if it was a green one. But you can see on the next bar we did go up and reach the top of the pennant pattern, and now we're still right within that pennant. So traditionally, when we come into a triangle pattern, we expect to continue out of it in the same direction. So we are anticipating that it should move higher from that technical perspective. But look at our momentum on the MACD here. That's just showing us quite a bearish move and anticipating. So we're still bullish on our monthly and our weekly. So we have our monthly over here, our weekly here, but we'll see what happens. And we're probably going to get a breakout either way here. Let's see which way it goes. For the Euro Loonie, you can see we already broke above this previous swing high right here, this previous pivot, and now we'd be looking for an entry to go long. This is a line that we can draw in a consolidation, and it's a downward trending line on the consolidation that gives us an opportunity to get in. So we're looking where this line is here right about now to take a long potentially if we can break above this trend line, and that's about at 1.50270. As these bars continue down, they'll follow down along this trend line, moving the breakpoint lower. And we are looking at our momentum MACD showing us that we do have some bullishness. We do have a little bit of a divergence appearing though, with a higher high here and a not so high, less than high indicator here on the fast line of the MACD. Okay, but still we're looking bullish. We'll see what happens there. For the Euro Yen, similarly we're moving higher here. Okay, same thing, we broke through the previous pivot, and we are now waiting to see if we can get a similar trend line there. We're not quite establishing a good pivot to draw the line to yet, but we'll continue to watch that as it does move up towards the monthly 132.282. The weekly 132.282 resistance. For the Aussie Kiwi, interestingly, we had a big move up right up to the previous pivot here, and then a recovery back down to the pivot below there. And that did give us somewhat of a line, although I'd prefer to see kind of a full double testing here and an isolated pivot. And so far we really don't have too much of an isolated pivot here, but we'll keep an eye on this one for a potential run higher. We are looking bullish on our MACD as we break through the 200 bar moving average on the weekly. Switching over to our bearish candidates, we've had the pound Aussie. And the pound Aussie, it's interesting as we're walking along this weekly trend line here. So if we can find our way to break through this weekly trend line, then we could see a decent drop down to the low that's next here on the monthly, as long as we can get past the beginning point of this upward trend line that we have here. So let's see what's happening. I've just went ahead and added a monthly support trend line right here, where just about where the monthly line intersects here. And of course in a couple days we'll get a new bar, and then we can adjust this line up a little bit. And finally, for the Kiwi US dollar, we had this head and shoulders pattern that we've been watching. We still haven't broken through it yet, other than just by a little bit here. So now that it's been weakened, let's see if we can have that follow through. We're looking bearish across the board here, and this one looks pretty good for running lower, although we might get tripped up by the slowness of the markets as non-farm payroll on the long weekend comes. Okay, and that'll do it for today. Remember, you can subscribe by clicking on my picture in the upper right, and you can look at past videos by clicking on the images in the upper left. And until next time, have a great rest of your day.